Hey guys, it's Mishel, Deception Bytes. I want to bring this to you guys. I guess it's indirectly Q related, but it's not really Q related. However, it is information that I think is critical that it gets out. Now, there are a few people out there talking about it, but not nearly enough. And I think that we need to be aware of this because it has the capacity for becoming catastrophic. It really does. Now, I don't want to get into fear porn. I really don't. That's not me. That's not how I operate. But I do want us to be aware because it's not being talked about. And indeed, I've heard that there is a blackout on some of this information. So there's got to be a reason for that, right? So let's look at this. This is from a website, and it's called exopolitics.org. Now, I'm not giving a blanket endorsement of them because I've only read their articles concerning this. And I would have to say that it's well researched as far as I can, tell. I've been impressed, but again, in case they're into anything weird that I haven't checked out yet, I don't want to give a blanket endorsement. But anyway, Hawaii volcanic eruption intentionally triggered to generate massive tsunami. Well, now this was written by Dr. Michael Sala. This was on May 15th, and he's since posted some other things that are quite interesting. Let's take a look. An increasing number of earthquakes under Hawaii's Kauai volcano preceded the appearance of fissures spewing molten lava in the lower Puna region of the Big Island on May 3rd. The newly active fissures have led to the destruction of homes, evacuation of residents, closure of roads, and emission of poisonous sulfuric gases that will impact the region for months, if not years to come. And we've all seen these images on TV and on the internet, and they are quite impressive. Actually, they're beautiful in a terrifying sort of way. I guess being safe on the other side, we can appreciate the beauty of it. But I'm sure the people whose homes have been destroyed are not thinking that it's such a beautiful thing. While most assume that the earthquakes and Kauai's eruption are due to natural geological processes stemming from a hotspot deep under the Big Island of Hawaii, there is startling evidence linking human intervention to this recent wave of volatile activity. Examination of the fracking practices at Puna Geothermal Power Station, located in the same Puna region affected by earthquakes and volcanic activity, directly raises the strong possibility that the fracking was a direct factor in unleashing what is currently occurring. What makes such a possibility even more disturbing is the background of the company that owns the power station. Now, are you ready for this? Really? Hope you're sitting down. What makes such a possibility even more disturbing is the background of the company that owns the power station, which is officially called the Puna Geothermal Venture. The company is financially connected to the Rothschild family, which, according to the military intelligence group QAnon, forms the leadership of a worldwide satanic cult covertly fomenting planet-wide catastrophes and wars to maintain global power. Well, we on this channel do believe in QAnon, and we do believe that QAnon is telling the truth. Doesn't mean that I will always trust QAnon, but so far what he has said has been true. He has proved himself to me, and I'm, looking for any reason to disavow or whatever, but have found none. Examination of, okay, let me see. Okay, what makes such a possibility? Okay, sorry, I just read that. I'm getting myself all turned around. A partial collapse of Kauai volcano could trigger massive tsunamis that would not only engulf the Hawaiian Islands, but also devastate the U.S. Pacific coast, as well as the coastal regions of other Pacific Rim nations. The possibility that the Puna geothermal venture conducted fracking in a deliberate effort to secretly promote earthquakes to trigger such a collapse and thereby generate massive tsunamis deserves a critical investigation. And I happen to agree with that. Not fear porn, we're just critically examining this. And we need to, because it has a catastrophic potential. I began my research with some history of the Puna geothermal venture, which began operations on the Big Island in 1993. It's worth noting that Kalawii volcano has been in a constant state of eruption since 1983, and that its East Rift zone has been a prominent part of the lava flows that have destroyed local communities. So, and this is a map. This, obviously the red is the lava flow. It's reached the ocean now, and it's actually quite, the pictures of it dropping into the ocean are just unbelievable. Anyway, from its inception, there has been controversy over the wisdom of the Puna geothermal venture being built within an active volcanic region with regularly occurring lava flows. Yeah, I would I would question the wisdom of that as well. However, what most aroused local opposition is direct scientific evidence that the power plant has been using fracking techniques as a means of generating heat for power generation. Now, this power plant, I believe, supplies power to the entire island. I don't think it's the only source of power, but it is one of the main sources of power to the Big Island. So, scientists have established a clear linkage between fracking and earthquake activity in multiple studies. A July 12, 2013 USGS, which is U.S. Geological Society study, has confirmed forcing high-pressure water into the earth via fracking can increase the number of induced earthquakes. A July 27, 2013 study by the University of California, Santa Cruz confirmed the correlation between geothermal fracking and earthquakes. A 2013 study by the Committee on Induced Seismic Potential in Energy Technologies, Committee on Earth Resources, Committee on Geological and Geotechnical Engineering, Committee on Seismology and Geodynamics, Board on Earth and Science and Resources, Division on Earth and Life Studies, and National Research Council concludes geothermal drilling causes earthquakes. So why the heck would they be doing it in an active volcano? You tell me. While the owners of the Puna geothermal venture insist that fracking has not been used, independent studies confirm otherwise. A Duke University study of the 8 wells used by the Puna geothermal venture concluded the region of high fracture density is also consistent with the areas of the highest fluid production at PGV. The production records are proprietary to the PGV parent company, Ormat, so tables and diagrams are not included in the dissertation. However, it is it's indicted, it should be probably indicated, that wells that penetrate the area where we calculate the greatest fracture density have higher fluid flow than elsewhere in the PGV lease. Essentially, the Duke University study suggested that fracking was occurring at the Puna geothermal venture via the injection of pressurized fluids into the wells and surrounding rocks. Even more alarming is the study of earthquake activity in the vicinity of Kalawii shows a direct correlation to the fluid injection, fracking, at the geothermal plant, as clearly indicated by the following graph using scientific data. And they are correlated. They're clearly correlated. This is a little bit off, but it's clearly following the fracking. Oh. Source of earthquake data, Advanced National Seismic System. Source of injection data is the EPA. The clear conclusion that emerges is that the liquid injection of fracking practices at Puna Geothermal Venture has been inducing earthquakes in Kalaui's East Rift Zone for years. This is where people will demand an answer to the question of whether this induced earthquake activity was merely accidental or deliberately contrived. The Puna Geothermal Venture is owned by Ormat Industries, which is an Israeli-based company that was founded by Lucien Yehuda Bronicki. A biography of Bronicki states, Mr. Lucien Yehuda Bronicki, PhD, served as a Chief Technology Officer of Ormat Industries since July 1st, 2004. He served as Chief Technology Officer of Ormat Technologies. Mr. Bronicki co-founded Ormat Turbines in 1965. He served as President and Technical Director of Ormat Turbines from 1965 to 1991. Mr. Bronicki has received numerous awards, including the Rothschild Prize for Innovation Export in 1977. The award of the Rothschild Prize for Innovation Export established a clear link between Bronicki's Ormat Industries and Turbines and the Rothschild family. What sets the Rothschild family apart from other philanthropic organizations is the role it plays in using its funding to manipulate individuals, organizations, and nations to do their bidding, according to a December 7th, 2017 post by QAnon. And of course, these posts are very familiar to us. Rothschild, cult leaders, church, Pope, banks, financial institutions, and we know that they manipulate wars and all sorts of things. It is quite plausible that the Rothschilds' 1977 support and financial backing made Bronicki and Ormat Industries obligated to do the Rothschilds' bidding in some way. This makes it possible that Bronicki was instructed by the Rothschilds to build the geothermal facility in a dangerous volcanic region for a hidden purpose, despite the inherent risk in building a facility in such a dangerous area. Like, why, if you are a business person, would you put your plant in an active volcano? I don't think anybody would, really. This is borne out by the Puna Geothermal Venture being evacuated as a new fissure has opened only a few hundred meters away from it, thereby threatening to destroy the facility, as reported by the Washington Post on May 12th. And as I said earlier, it has reached the facility now. Now, why is all this? Okay, so it's causing earthquakes. But why is this so catastrophic? What is so catastrophic about that? Well, here's where the rest of the story comes in. Okay, so what could be the hidden purpose behind building the geothermal plant in an active volcanic region when it was known that induced earthquakes could trigger seismic activity, which would threaten anything that was built there, including incurring significant financial loss for Bronicki, Ormat, and or the Rothschilds? This is where we need to consider Kalaui's Helena slump, which is summarized in the following Wikipedia article. The Helena slump is a 5,000 cubic mile 20,000 kilometer section of the Big Island of Hawaii on the south flank of the Kalaui volcano. Between 1990 and 1993, global positioning system measurements showed a southward displacement of the south flank of Kalaui up to approximately 10 centimeters per year. The slump has the potential of breaking away at a faster pace in the form of an underwater landslide. In Hawaii, landslides of this nature are called debris avalanches. If the entire Helena slump were to slide into the ocean at once, it would cause an earthquake in excess of a 9 in magnitude and a mega tsunami. Previous mega tsunamis in Hawaii 110,000 years ago, caused by similar geological phenomena, may have created waves 1,600 feet, 500 meters tall. So, According to veteran investigative journalist Hal Turner, he has received information that there is a news blackout on the Helena slump due to scientific concerns over its impending collapse and generation of giant tsunamis. Scientists from the United States Geological Survey have contacted me regarding staggering development taking place right now during the eruption of the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii. An area of land on the south flank of the volcano, known as the Helena Slump, about the size of Manhattan, is moving and could break off into the ocean, sending a tsunami toward the west coast with 100-plus foot waves moving at 500 miles per hour. Cities like San Diego, Las Vegas, and others could be wiped off the face of the earth. So I now come back to the question of what was the hidden purpose behind the Rothschild-backed geothermal venture in Puna. As suggested in QAnon's December 7, 2017 post, the Rothschild family leads a global cult that has been at the forefront of controlling the planet for nearly 2 centuries. In an earlier November 17, 2017 post, QAnon revealed the connection between Satanism and the Rothschilds. And I'm not going to get into reading Q because that's not the focus of this really. But we already know this anyway because we have been following Q. Support for QAnon's extraordinary claim comes from the whistleblower testimony of Dr. Bill Daigle, a former U.S. Air Force physician. He said that in 1992, the head of the Rothschild family, Guy de Rothschild, physically appeared before him late at night in his room. I don't know about this. In a project, I know that they can astral project. Daigle explained how de Rothschild displayed a range of impressive occult abilities, confirming that he was talking with a highly evolved satanic cult leader who believed himself to be the occult ruler of the earth. Now, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, this could be true. It's not that this stuff doesn't happen, because I know it does. But I don't know about all that. But, obviously this person, their whole thing is they believe that they are deliberately fracking and deliberately causing the earthquakes, so that it will trigger the sliding of the Helena slump into the ocean. And it's not something that they're denying, really, because let me see if I can find let me see here. Look at these pictures. They're just unbelievable. Unbelievable. These are houses that are being enveloped here. I believe. But look at that. It's like, it's just, it's unbelievable. Like, it's beautiful in a terrifying way. Okay. Okay, worse waves are possible in very near future. A 4,760 cubic mile chunk of Hawaii is breaking away at the rate of 4 inches per year. This is the Helena Slump, and it is the most rapidly growing tract of ground on Earth for its size. The Helena Slump can and will move much faster. At 4:48 a.m., November 29th, 1975, a 37-mile wide section suddenly dropped 11.5 feet and slid seaward 26 feet. The result was a magnitude 7.2 quake and a 48-foot-high tsunami. This was just a speck of the slump. If the entire 4,760 cubic mile block decided to break off, it would most likely create a magnitude 9 quake and a tsunami 1,000 feet high. All the coast-hugging cities of Hawaiian Islands would be destroyed. So, now, this was on Twitter, and it says, breaking. The Helena slump is dropping drastically seaward. But then they say, no imminent threat at this moment for a collapse. However, the threat is there and being watched closely. Pacific coastal cities need to make a plan and stay alert for a possible large-scale tsunami threat. Well, is anyone doing that? I haven't heard anybody discussing it about the West Coast being in possible danger. Have you? don't know. And here's another on Twitter. If the Helena slump falls into the ocean, causing displacement and tsunami, what is the timeline warning plan for the West Coast? Far inland, do people have to worry? What about the islands? So it is on people's minds. I'm not really sure why I copied that. And then down here, this is a resident of Hawaii, and it said, resident here, government officials isn't saying a word about Helena slump. They don't want to scare tourists away. Money is so important to them. Ask them what would happen when the lava reaches PGV. They can't even tell us that. So, yeah, it's, let me go here as well, show you something. It just, it's just like I just put in Hawaii news, and it just gives us some. I thought this was a little bit humorous. United States Geological Society, please don't roast marshmallows over Hawaii volcano. I think that's a little bit humorous. And this shows us an good aerial view. Fears of deadly gas explosion as lava inches towards Hawaii geothermal plant. Yeah. Hawaii's Kauai volcano city burns as U.S. National Guard deployed more than 150 National Guard troops. So just, and I'm just giving you an overview here of, like, this is really actually quite beautiful. New lava from Vent 7 reactivated around noon and advancing on PGV. That was today. EPA watchdogs expect to. Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah, that's pretty wild. So anyway, I just thought that I would give you an overview, and I don't know why people aren't talking about this more. But I know that you guys are great at researching as well. So if you find out any more information on this, please leave it in the comments below, because I'm interested in following this. I really think that there needs to be more said about the potential here. I really do. Not to, get into fear porn, but people do need to be warned. And I think that people appreciate knowing, because I can bet you that a whole bunch of people that live on the West Coast have never even considered this possibility and don't even know that it exists. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. And I will talk to you guys later. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.